Hello, my name is Kathleen Dreier. I am a resident of Ward 3 in Tucson. I am a full-time photographer. I'm a member of the No Desert Data Center Coalition. The commentary and opinions that I'll be expressing in this video are mine alone. And I'm not paid to be doing this. I'm just a concerned citizen who's involved in her community. So, as many of you know, Tucson has been struggling with the whole topic of data centers and whether or not data centers should be in the Tucson area. We do have data centers already for storage, but with the Project Blue that came to light last summer, which was a hyperscale data center with its ties to surveillance and AI, the community became alive in their opposition of not wanting data centers. Last August, the city listened to the citizens and voted to not annex the land in Pima County. There's much more to the story, as you know, that the Pima County Board of Supervisors, in a small majority, have moved through and forward with completing the sale of the land for the data center. That being said, the city wants to put some guardrails upon what is a data center, what is a large-scale data center, and what are the parameters upon which we can have a large-scale data center. So they're having these informational meetings, to virtual, to in person. I'm going to be sharing with you images that I took this past Thursday on February 19th. The first thing I want to do is read a brief definition that's an introduction to this amendment. The proposed large-scale data centers code amendment is a unified development code amendment to establish standards, review procedures, and requirements for large-scale data centers in the city of Tucson. It's based upon direction from mayor and council, research and analysis from other communities, in addition to feedback provided by a technical advisory committee initiated by the Planning and Development Services Department, which met over a 3-month period to identify key issues, best practices, and recommendations. So this included things such as what is a large-scale data center? In this case, they have determined it to be 50,000 square feet. The locations, where could these data centers be built? Enhanced setbacks, compatibility standards, environmental factors, landscaping, generation regulations, and more. So the Planning and Development Services staff, the first thing I want to say, they are good, rock-solid people. They are well-intended people. They are people who were working within the parameters and boundaries of their job and what they were asked to do and directed to do by mayor and council. But it is a limited matter. I was a good social worker when I was a social worker. I worked in multiple states and I stayed in my lane. I did precisely what I was supposed to do. The thing is, when one is staying, has a tight corral upon which they need to work, it does not allow for all of the other factors to be brought into the conversation that are required to really be a well-rounded and full conversation. For example, the workers here could not define or describe what is the current largest data center in the Tucson area. They could not discuss or define what would these proposed data, if we came up with a definition, an approved definition of large-scale data centers, what would they be used for? Would they be used for surveillance or AI or just housing storage? This was something that was outside the confines and compartments of this particular meeting, these public forums. So it is limited, and what it can do is create the illusion of seeking public input but it's public input on a finite amount of information, which gives the illusion of manufactured consent that we actually want large-scale data centers, that we would find that acceptable in the Tucson area. But that is simply not the case. My recommendation, my request, my call of action to people is I encourage everyone, before I go there, this particular image, for example, everywhere that you see purple are areas that the Planning and Development Services Department, along with the Technical Advisory Committee, are believing that it's sufficient for where large-scale data centers could be placed in our city. So the presentation was good, the poster boards were good, and there wasn't enough time for public feedback. We had a lot more questions and commentary to give. There just simply isn't enough time allotted for that. My call of action to everyone is to take a screenshot of this screen and this QR code. There are 3 remaining opportunities for public comment. 2 of them are virtual, as you see here, February 23rd, March 4th. And then you have to register for them. And then there is an in-person one at Rincon High. Here's the deal. Tucson last summer spoke loud and clear. We do not want any large-scale or hyperscale data centers in Tucson. Hard stop, period. End of sentence. Our request, our demand for mayor and council is to create a moratorium on large-scale and hyperscale data centers. Firm. That's it. That's what needs to be put into place. That's what our city wants. We are asking you as our elected officials to listen to us and to abide by that request. This has the appearance of being helpful, but it is not. It is a cloak, and it is ignoring the larger issue at hand, which is no hyperscale or large-scale data centers in Tucson. We want you to be courageous and follow what other cities and states are doing to ban large-scale and hyperscale data centers in our area. And that's it. Thank you for listening to this. I encourage everybody to attend the meetings that are upcoming. I will repost them, and I appreciate you taking the time to listen to my personal opinion on this. Thank you. Take care.